Can we clarify, first of all, are you personally calling on Michelle O'Neill to resign?
Well, as you know, Tara, yesterday I said that Michelle should reflect on the great deal of upset and hurt and indeed anger that there is in the community right across Northern Ireland, because people have been upset that they cannot attend funerals. I myself have had to have made those difficult decisions not to attend funerals of people to whom I should have been paying my respects. But there are other ways to pay your respects, and that was the point I was making. There was a different route that Michelle could have taken, but she decided not to take that route. She stood with me on Monday and made pronouncements about public health advice. And then on the Tuesday, she went ahead and broke that health advice. So I think there is a credibility issue here. And I said yesterday that she should reflect on that. She should apologise. She chose not to, instead doubling down on the fact that she had done nothing wrong. And I think that the wider community in Northern Ireland want to see action in relation to this. So that is why I have now said that she should consider her position. And she should think about stepping aside whilst all of the investigations take place into what has become a real credibility issue for the Stormont executive.
Well, Sinn Féin have said today there are no circumstances in which Michelle O'Neill will step down. So if there's no resignation, no apology, then what?
Well, I very much hope that there will be movement. As you know, the Party Leaders Forum is meeting tomorrow morning, when the 5 party leaders from the executive will come together. We will speak about the difficulties that we currently have to deal with. We will also, of course, want to reflect on the fact that we have come through a very difficult time during which COVID-19 has been dealt with. We are still dealing with that issue, but now we have to look to the future in relation to recovery and renewal and all of the economic and societal challenges around that. And that is why we need to keep focused on the bigger issues in all of this, and we need to find a way to deal with these credibility issues. I cannot stand beside Michelle currently and give out public health advice, because people will just say there is no credibility to that given what has happened this week.
Is that why you weren't standing with her today? Do you imagine if nothing changes between now and Monday, will you not stand beside her at the podium at the usual Monday press conference?
Well, it cannot be business as usual when people are saying to me, there's no credibility in your message, therefore we don't think that when we listen to you anymore, that we should keep the public health advice. I appeal to people to do it for the right reasons, to look at the public health advice, to look at the regulations and realise that we have had relative success here in Northern Ireland because the people of Northern Ireland have taken those messages and they have stuck to those messages, and that is why we're in the position that we're in today. And I would ask them to continue to do that. But there is a problem around the credibility of our messaging when someone who makes the rules decides to breach the rules on the very next day.
You were repeatedly asked to step aside over the RHI crisis. You refused to do so. Is it fair to say you rode that one out and Michelle O'Neill is doing exactly the same thing now?
No, it's not exactly the same thing. Of course, there was no police investigation. People's health was not at risk at that particular point in time.
Well, there was a huge inquiry, Arlene Foster. There was a public inquiry.
There was a huge
RHI.
inquiry, that's right. There was a huge inquiry. There will be an inquiry into how we handled COVID-19 as well. And as I think you know, Tara, when you look at the RHI inquiry, no wrongdoing was found in respect of my management of it. So really, I think it is wrong to talk about the RHI inquiry. What I'm trying to find is to give leadership to the people of Northern Ireland at this point in time and to say to them, we need to stick by the regulations. We need to look at the guidance. We need to keep doing what is right for the public here. But the credibility of that messaging has been taken away. I said to Michelle that she needed to do something yesterday. She decided not to do that, and therefore we need to deal with this matter. And I hope that when we come together at the Party Leaders Forum tomorrow, we'll be able to deal with these matters.
What does this mean for your relationship with Michelle O'Neill? It was looking reasonably stable recently.
Well, I'm very disappointed that we've got to this point. I think that we all were working well in the executive together to provide that leadership for people. It is very disappointing that we find ourselves in this position. I think, again, that we need to look to the bigger picture and look to the future as to what we need to do for the people here in Northern Ireland. But we can't ignore the elephant in the room, Tara. We have to deal with the issue. We have to acknowledge that there was a mistake made, that it was wrong to go to that funeral, that her respects could have been marked in a different way. way. I hear Mary Lou McDonald saying it's wrong to punish somebody for going to the funeral of a friend. That's not what this is about. This is about the fact that we make the rules in relation to public health, and therefore we have a duty to uphold those rules, not to flagrantly breach them. And I think that people understand that. This is not about the particular funeral, it's the fact that Michelle O'Neill did what she did on Tuesday.
Arlene Foster, thanks very much indeed for joining us this evening.